Alright, well it is, I don't know what day it is. It is November 14th, 2024, and I've found myself about 6 or 7 hours north in the winding hills of Arkansas. I'm gonna join up with my buddy Dalton, and we're gonna tent camp some public land, and it seems like the stars have somewhat aligned, and cold front's blowing through. It's going to be a high of like 60 something, but the lows are in that upper 40 range. Really good hunting weather, but on top of all that, the deer are supposedly rutting at this time. So, man, we're optimistic. This is something that I've never done, something he's never done. And so, nothing but excitement.
At the next stop sign, turn left.
So, we're gonna set up camp here in just a minute. I've got about an hour left. It's 2:30. About an hour left in this trip, and I'll be at camp. And he's already slipping off into the woods to get some scouting done. So we'll see what happens. I just got to camp, and Dalton's already set up over here. I don't think I'm gonna set up just yet. I think I'm gonna just jump straight into the woods. Try to get in a tree somewhere and hope for the best this evening. And when I get back this after nightfall, I'll set up camp and all that good stuff. So I don't even know where to start. So I'm gonna just head down this ridge and just look for any sign whatsoever. Maybe find some feed trees or something. Both of my GoPros already died. I must not have charged them. But I'm finally set up here in Arkansas. And I'm here for my first sit Thursday evening. I really didn't have much sign, but I set up on this ridge. I'm in the mix of some pines and some oaks, so good transition line. I don't even know, but we're out here. Maybe. What's up, brother?
What you doing?
I was waiting you out.
Huh?
I was waiting for you.
I figured.
I talked to a local on the way in.
Uh-huh.
We can talk about it at camp.
Okay. Well, you go ahead. What did they say?
They told us to go south.
How come?
He said he's got a couple good spots. Basically, when you go out this way to your right, there's a road. It breaks off to your left. He said down in that bottom to your left.
I thought about that.
He's killed some good deer in there.
I thought about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't you go there?
That's what I was thinking. This is the first obstacle of the trip. An uneventful evening hunt and a flat tire can do little to dampen the morale of this short trip. With camp set up in the middle of the Arkansas mountains, this cool front settling in on us, dinner being prepared, and of course the anticipation of getting back in the woods in the morning, we call it a night looking at the glass half full. Well, it's November 15th, 2024, about 4:30 in the morning. Me and Dalton getting up, stirring, drinking some coffee, about to head out into the woods for sit number 2. We're gonna see what happens.
You talking to me?
Yep, talking to you. And everybody else who watches Abide Outdoors.
That's right, right there.
Just got set up. The only problem is I left my glasses at the truck. It seems to always be the case that whatever animal you're not hunting, that will be the one that makes an appearance. This morning is no exception to that rule. Apparently, I've set up in the living room of a family of squirrels. While it was entertaining and aided in passing the time, time is something I don't have much of on this trip.
All right, it's just after 8 o'clock, and I'm just not optimistic enough to sit right here for another couple hours. So I'm gonna start creeping south towards the river, hoping to find some more signs. If I'm able to find some, I'm gonna get out of here and go hunt that spot this evening. I just jumped one. Bad thing is, it got my wind. I mean, my wind's blowing right at him. But first sign of deer, which is good.
Well, not wanting to pressure the deer any further, and knowing that the labor of changing a tire plus a hot cup of coffee await me back at camp, I decided to back out of this spot with the intention of setting up on this sign later today. Proverbs chapter 24, verse 13 is the counsel of a father, and he says this: "My son, eat honey, for it is good, and the drippings of the honeycomb are sweet to your taste." It is a fatherly desire to see our children enjoy life, and our Heavenly Father is no different. He has given us so many good gifts in this life, like good coffee, and music, and mountains, and cold fronts, and yes, even deer honey. And I'm trying to squeeze every drop of honey out of this gift of a weekend.
Hey. Tall.
Big rat?
Big old tall rat. Yeah. I'm trying to think where to start. It was about 9:15, and I saw him moving through, and all I could see was a rack. I mean, it was one of those deer where you see the antlers before you see anything. I mean, it was just mass. About 80 yards through the trees. My rifle was pointing in the right direction and everything, so if he would have stopped, it would have been an easy shot.
Did you try to stop him?
Yeah, I said, meh, meh. He kept rolling, didn't move a muscle. He was there and gone in 30 seconds. I don't know what else I could have done. I tried to grunt him back in, but he didn't, he never made an appearance again, man. I got to get a deer, though. I haven't got an Arkansas buck yet since I moved here. Been here a year. No deer at all, not just a buck.
All right, well, it is Friday, and we're already noticing significantly more traffic than yesterday, so we decided to get out here a little bit early. And so it's just past, I don't even think it's 2 o'clock yet. But we wanted to get out here, get in a stand, kind of lock down our spots, and as this traffic comes in, hopefully they'll bump something to us. So that's the plan. I'm gonna dive off over this hill here where I was at this morning, get set up, and we'll see what happens. So here we go. I'm getting into my third sit here in Arkansas, and I'm set up in a white oak. I really like this spot.
I decided to not shoot for no other reason than the hope that something with antlers was going to eventually be following. No other deer came. But regardless, with such limited time, I considered it a gift to be within earshot of the acorns popping in these passing does' teeth. Well, I'm super out of breath coming out of here. But saw those 2 does and nothing else. But I swear I heard my deer grunting. So I'm gonna get back in there first thing in the morning. Last hunt of the trip.
But how are you supposed to know exactly where they're gonna come from, you know? He could have come from any direction.
And Dalton saw the big 8-point again.
Yep.
Is it an 8-point? Don't know.
It looked like 8 to me. I definitely saw 4 on one side, so it could have been a 7 or a 9. But probably an 8-point. I think they're just traveling there. So I'm just gonna hope and pray that one of them does this time.
I think we're gonna see at least this morning. All right, well, day 3, last hunt of the trip. We're gonna drink some coffee, head out in the woods, try to beat some other hunters out there.
You know, yesterday morning, that big old buck had come cruising through. I couldn't get him to stop and get a shot. He was about 80 yards. Well, I moved my stand a little further in. About 4 o'clock, I hear some crunching from directly behind me. And I strained my head around, kind of craned my neck like this. And it was that same old buck, I'm pretty sure. Big old buck, huge. So the wind blew my scent right to him. And I saw the moment that he picked up my scent. And he just like pinpointed me. And I was just trying to stay still. I was hoping he would just keep coming anyway, but he looked right at me. And I was trying to stay still, but I got buck fever, so I was shaking like this. He blew at me and ran off, and I heard him blowing 7 or 8 times. Each one was further away. No hope of coming back. I doubt he'll come back this morning. 2 encounters with that big old buck. Neither one of them ended in a harvest.
Well, I'm hopeful. There's deer moving out here, which is good. We've got to see a couple. I think we'll see something this morning at least.
Yeah, hope so.
Heading into my last sit here. Got about, I don't know, several hundred yards to get where I want to be. See, I'm gonna get down in here and hope for the best. Last hunt up here in Arkansas. Here we go. God had one more gift for me here in Arkansas, and that was a gift of a good laugh. In the confusion of seeing something small and white out at a distance, it finally came close enough for me to see it was a white, furry skunk. Yes, a skunk. It was official. I had been skunked in Arkansas. And I think I just heard Dalton shoot. I hope so. I'm ready to get back to camp to see a big old buck laying on the ground.
It's almost 7 o'clock a.m. I'm up high in a tree, and I just shot a nice buck. It's not the monster I saw yesterday. I didn't hear him crash. I think I made a good hit. I'm gonna give him a minute and then get down and go see. That buck came in behind me and to my left, so I had to kind of position myself weird. He was back there. Ooh, I hope I made a good shot.
was gonna wrap it up here in Arkansas. That is sit number 4. But I'm about to hike up this big old mountain behind me. That's all the time I got. I'm gonna try to get into a stand this evening, so.
I've been tracking this deer about an hour. It's been 2 hours since I shot him. I guess it wasn't the best hit, but I'm hopeful. I've got a blood trail. Here's some of the last blood I've been able to find. But I'm gonna keep going slow, look for more.
All right, well, I've got one last chance to get a deer down this weekend. One more hunt this evening. But even though I left Arkansas up there with my buddy Dalton, I'm heading south and gonna cross over into Louisiana here in just a little bit and meet up with my family. And my father-in-law has a lease here right at the Arkansas state line. And we're all gonna hunt this evening, and I'm gonna go to the very far end of his lease, and I'm gonna put up a climber in that back corner that he's got. No one else has touched it this season, so that also means that we don't know what's back there. So don't know what is ahead of me, but we're gonna try it anyway. So here goes.
Well, it's after 2 in the afternoon. I tried to follow that blood trail for a while this morning. It went cold on me, couldn't find anything else. Started calling trackers. Finally got a hold of one. He said he couldn't do it till he got off work though. So I'm waiting on him. I'm here with Mr. Neil White from the Arkansas Blood Trailing Network, and we're gonna hopefully find a deer this evening. And this is Honey Bee. Honey Bee was able to find more blood that I wasn't able to find earlier, so we're on the trail. She's doing a great job. Honey Bee is still on it. That deer has gone around the other side of the mountain and across the road on the south side.
We're done, Honey Bee.
I think we're about to call it though.
We ran it over a mile and a half.
Yeah, we've gone a long, long way.
We ended up starting the track at about where he found first blood, and we ended up taking it down into the ravine, back up the ravine at about the 1.5 mile mark, where we were still finding blood clots, what looked like blood clots. Back up to the road, found more blood across the road, and we called it at about the 1.8 mile mark and decided this deer was either still alive or we were done looking for it, one or the other.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming out. Thank you
Not a problem. That's what we do.
to Honey Bee as well.
Yes, sir. That is what we do. We're going to get this little pup fed and go get some rest and go to work tomorrow.
So while Dalton was busy tracking the deer he unfortunately wasn't able to recover, I had made it into a pine tree here in North Louisiana, hoping for my chance at one. And right at last light, I hear something big coming through the swampy area to my east. It wasn't exactly what I hoped for, but regardless, I'd count it as a gift. This is what we'd call land management. There's one less big bore hog to tear up the land and run out the deer. My goodness.
That's a big old pig, dude.
This entire weekend was a gift from God to be enjoyed. But all these gifts are intended to be more than just that. While Proverbs chapter 24 verse 13 says, "My son, eat honey for it is good," Verse 14 continues that thought by saying, "Know that wisdom is such for your soul. If you find it, there will be a future, and your hope will not be cut off." Every gift from God is intended to promote wisdom in God, where there is a future and there is a hope. So me and my family set out in pursuit of wisdom on the Lord's Day, Sunday morning, and find ourselves at Briarwood Baptist Church in Saline, Louisiana, where we're met by a few more of God's good gifts. Long-standing friends, a sweet congregation, and some of the best preaching here in the state of Louisiana.
We desire that each one of you show the same diligence so as to realize the full assurance of hope until the end. It is clear that the Lord God does not want us to live as Christians totally unassured with no confidence that we belong to Him, that He belongs to us. This is not the spiritual life which He has envisioned for His saints.